On Tuesday morning, we saw a temperature of about 35 degrees. There was a humidity of roughly 75% due to the light rain. We also had a westerly wind of 3 on the Beaufort scale, which was a gentle breeze. It was 100% overcast, so we couldn't determine the direction of the winds aloft. Tuesday afternoon saw conditions stay largely constant, although the light wind died down to a light breeze. Precipitation also diminished, and we saw some signs of cloud clearing, suggesting clearer skies tomorrow. Today, we had perhaps 10% precipitation. I'm predicting for tomorrow persistence and temperature of 35 degrees, but deviation from persistence and a lower humidity of 20% and 0% precipitation. Yesterday's predictions were largely accurate. We had persistence of 35 degrees temperature and 30% humidity. We also saw 0 precipitation and a light breeze of about 2 on the Beaufort scale blowing in from the south. Altocumulus clouds covering 75% of the sky were spotted, predicting an oncoming warm front. Temperature and humidity conditions persisted into the afternoon. The altocumulus clouds formed a roller, long band, suggesting warm, wetter conditions tomorrow. We're predicting a temperature of 45 degrees and 30% precipitation. Yesterday's predictions were not entirely right. Temperature went up slightly to 40 degrees, but precipitation was 0%. Humidity was also about 25%. We had a light breeze blowing westward, and mackerel scales, cirrostratus clouds speckling most of the sky. We also saw lingering jet contrails, suggesting an incoming warm front. By afternoon, the easterly winds had blown the mackerel scales out of the sky, and we had perfectly blue skies. For tomorrow, I'm predicting persistence. That would be 0% precipitation and a temperature of 40 degrees again. My predictions from yesterday were mostly right, at least for the morning. The temperature dropped slightly to 35 degrees, and humidity was around 30%. There was no precipitation, and the sky was mostly clear, with some scattered nimbostratus clouds, suggesting the possibility of oncoming rain. By late afternoon, temperatures had increased to 40 degrees, and big looming nimbostratus clouds had swept in from the south. Because of relatively warm temperatures today, I'm predicting that these ominous clouds will manifest in rain rather than snow. I'm predicting 50% precipitation tomorrow with a temperature of around 40 degrees. I was right about the precipitation, just not its form. Cambridge saw a downfall of light snow early in the morning. Temperatures dropped to near 30 degrees and humidity was 100%. The sky was entirely white, so it was difficult to make the direction of winds aloft. There was a minimal breeze, perhaps 2 on the Beaufort scale. The snow continued into the afternoon and late evening. After this day of continuous light snowfall, I expect conditions to ease tomorrow. I predict 10% precipitation with a relatively high humidity of 50% and a temperature of about 35 degrees. Sunday morning dawned with a heavy mist of about 100% humidity, but no actual precipitation. There was a light breeze of about 2 on the Beaufort scale blowing toward the north. The mist was so thick that there was no way to observe the clouds or gauge the winds aloft. Temperature was near 30. In the afternoon, altocumulus clouds gathered largely in the southern portion of the sky. After seeing similar clouds precede warm weather earlier this week, I'm going to make the same forecast for tomorrow. An incoming warm front and clear skies. I expect precipitation tomorrow to be 0%. I'm also anticipating temperatures of 40 degrees. A qualitative analysis of my weather predictions for this week shows that I was largely successful in forecasting the weather. The figure of merit was smaller for my predictions than for that of persistence, indicating that my techniques were more effective than just assuming the weather would be the same every day. My standard deviation was also lower, indicating that when I did make forecasting mistakes, they were not as dramatic as shifts in the weather. But